Hello, welcome to side 2, and now for some sport, starting off with Audrey.
Goalkeeper David Hughes, Town from Ryman League Premier Division rivals East Thurrock United, for whom he made 85 appearances in 2 seasons. The 22-year-old fills the gap left by departure of Nathan MacDonald, who has returned to Braintree Town following a season-long loan. "I'm delighted David is joining us," said Town manager Bradley Quinton. "This means we are now in the strong position of having 2 great goalkeepers on the books in David and Anthony Page. I'd like to also wish Nathan, who was my 2014-15 Player of the Season, all the best back at Braintree." Leaving Town, however, is defender Joe Elul, who has signed a contract with another Ryman League Premier Division side, Billericay Town. Elul, who joined Town from Barkingside, broke into the starting lineup after Mark Kirby was injured in March. He played in the last 9 league matches as Town finished the season strongly. Town was confirmed 2 more pre-season friendlies at Romford on Saturday, July the 25th, and away to Spartan South Midlands League neighbours Brimsdown on Saturday, August the 1st.
Impressive table tennis news now. Enfield schoolgirl Denise Payet claimed the National Under-14s Girls Singles Championship in Sheffield at the weekend to add to the cadet age group title she won in November. Payet, who is pupil at Enfield County School, plays for the Ellenborough Club, overcame 5th seed Molly Patterson 11-4, 11-6, 11-5 in the final, after coming from behind to beat 3rd seed Charlotte Bardsley 10-12, 11-7, 11-4, 11-7 in the semi-finals. However, Payet and Sophie Barlow, the top seeds, lost in the quarter-finals of the doubles, going down 11-5, 6-11, 6-11, 8-11 to Patterson and Daniel Kelly, who went on to win the title. And the swimming news, Enfield girls team took 3rd place at the Balfour Beatty London Youth Games competition at Beckenham Spa last Thursday. Leading the way were Lauren Furnell and Kathleen Waters, who picked up silver and bronze respectively. "We are really proud of our para swimming team, male and female," said the Team Enfield manager Lucy Marmon. "All of them swam excellently, and the girls came away with a well-deserved bronze medal."
This is athletics. Chijunda Uja believes he missed a golden opportunity to post another sub-10 second 100 metres time at Sunday Sainsbury's Summer Grand Prix at Birmingham's Alexander Stadium. Last year, the Enfield and Haringey athlete became the 5th British man to dip below the 10-second mark and establish himself as one of the country's finest sprint talents. And with favourable conditions in the Midlands, the stage was set for Uja to reaffirm his talents against a strong field, including fellow Brits Adam Jamili and Richard Kilty. But a slow start proved costly for Uja, and he never recovered as he crossed in 10.11 seconds to take 6th. Jamili finishing 2nd in 9.997 seconds. 3 months ago at Prague's European Indoor Championships, it was also the start that cost him, as he suffered disqualification in the 60 metres final. But he says he's determined to get right before the season is over. "I'm actually gutted, to be honest, because it was good conditions out there for a quick race. I think I rocked back in the set and was a bit twitchy," said Uja, speaking at the event. A partnership with British Athletics that builds on Sainsbury's support for the 2012 Paralympics and recognises that sport can unite and inspire children of all ages. It was 10.11 though, and I'll take that considering the start cost me and I didn't get out as quick as I would have liked. All of the guys in there are quick and near enough the same speed, so if you can give them a millisecond, it can really cost you, and it usually does. I know where I am at, and I know I could have gone sub-10 today, but unfortunately my start cost me, and it always costs me. After Prague, I just got back to hard work and training. I've been working on my start, so for me to rock back like that is disappointing, but I'll get it right. While competition is rife for Britain's male sprinters, Ujah says he's feeling no pressure and welcomed Jamili to the sub-10 second club, and believes it bodes well for the relay team at this summer's World Championships in Beijing. Adam ran a good 10 flat in our heat, so 9.97 is looking good for our relay, and it's 100% good to have another sub-10, he said. Sainsbury's is a proud partner of British athletics. The partnership reflects Sainsbury's wider commitment to inspiring healthy lifestyles for all and complements grassroots campaigns such as Active Kids and the Sainsbury's School Games. Good old Sainsbury's, good free advertisement for them there.
Well, this article, I have to say, I volunteered for, largely due to the very, very good-looking photo of Darren Johnson, bare-torsoed, preparing to compete in a bodybuilding competition in Miami. So he's going to look at me while I read this to you. The discipline of hours of gruelling training sessions and eschewing McDonald's in favour of protein shakes means one fitness buff in the borough is preparing to set off to the United States to compete on an international stage. Darren Johnson, 27, of Chester Gardens, Ponders End, is to compete in Miami next week after a blistering series of wins in bodybuilding competitions in the UK. Describing his rise to the top of his game, he said, "I had been training on and off for about 6 years, and it is only 2 years ago that I decided to make it my passion. I had always had other people training in the gym telling me that I had a good body and that I should start competing. And so, in November 2014, I trained solidly for 12 weeks by myself by researching diet and training tips and a fair bit of trial and error. I entered into my first competition in November 2014 and won my class in the fitness division. I then won the overall title at that competition, which meant I was then officially classed in the pro division. Then in April, he competed again, winning the chance to represent the UK at a bodybuilding competition in Miami, where he will compete with as many as 500 other hopefuls from all over the world, hoping to be crowned Muscle King. Darren will be tweeting his successes on social media and can also be followed on Facebook at Darren Johnson Fitness and PT. Good luck, Darren."
Tear myself away from the photo next door. We're on with the next lot of news. In Diabetics Week, June the 14th to the 20th, Diabetics UK would like to remind people living with the condition that they are not alone when it comes to managing their illness. We are here to help, and there are lots of ways we can offer support. Many people who have just been diagnosed with diabetes or are living with the condition can feel overwhelmed and very concerned by the possibility of life-altering complications. But strong evidence shows that once equipped with the knowledge and skills to manage their condition effectively, people with diabetes can improve their quality of life and reduce their risk of developing complications. Access to support and education services helps people to increase their confidence in managing diabetes. We also know one size doesn't fit all, which is why we offer support in lots of different ways. For example, at our free Living with Diabetics Day, health professionals deliver expert workshops and information is given about the practical elements of living with type 2 diabetes, such as diet, exercise and driving. If you prefer to learn online, our informal online course, Type 2 Diabetes and Me, helps people with type 2 diabetes to understand and manage the condition. If you prefer to pick up the phone, our care line offers a confidential helpline staffed by professional counsellors who have extensive knowledge of diabetes. We also have peer support and online communities and brilliant care events for young people with type 1 diabetes, all of which offer the chance to learn from others. To find out more about the support and advice and education Diabetes UK offers, you can contact www.diabetes.org.uk. And this was a message from Rosa Rosenblatt, Diabetics UK London.
Legendary veteran presenter Nicholas Parsons, who for 48 years has been the debonair host of popular radio show Just a Minute, will be speaking without repetition, deviation or hesitation when he brings his one-man show to Southgate's Chicken Shed Theatre. At 91 years old and after nearly 7 decades in show business, he shows no sign of slowing down. A household name presenting Sale of the Century and other quiz shows and playing straight man to comedy greats such as Benny Hill, his Just a Laugh Minute show on radio, June 21st, will be packed with hilarious anecdotes. And the inclusive theatre in Chaseside will benefit from his generosity because he is a keen supporter of all it does, and he's kindly donating all proceeds from the show to Chicken Shed. Chicken Shed's Susan Jamson said, "We are delighted to welcome such a deeply appreciative at his gesture to donate proceeds to the theatre. Besides stories of his glittering career and those he has worked with, from Kenneth Williams to Paul Merton, there will also be a chance for the audience to ask him questions. He is a gifted mimic, an impressionist, recreating some of the personalities involved, and there will be a book signing and a chance to get his autograph after the show," said Susan. Tickets cost £20 and £15 for concessions, and the box office can be contacted on 0208 292 9222. That's 0208 292 9222. Also, you can contact the theatre by email at bookings@chickenshed.org.uk.
Excuse me. The announcement from the British Transport Police that they will deploy 100 additional officers to cover the night tube when it starts is greatly welcome. While 100 police officers is a significant amount, when they're divided into teams and asked to cover 144 stations, there's a real risk that they may be stretched, particularly when many of those officers are to be based at key inner London stations. The night tube will be great for Londoners, but it's important that it's done safely. We know that policing will be a big challenge, particularly given the serious rise in the number of assaults on staff in recent years, many fuelled by late-night alcohol. Transport for London and British Transport Police have to be sure that passengers and staff are safe on the tube, on the platform and around the station. The prospect of single-staffed stations late at night is also a concern, and I raised this at the Mayor of London's question time last month. I've asked the Mayor to ensure that there is no single staffing, particularly in outer London boroughs, when the night tube is operating. Passengers need to know that there will be a good staff presence at all stations, supported by British Transport Police. Having only one isolated member of staff at a station will not achieve that, and this is a letter from Joanne McCartney, Labour London Assembly member for Enfield and Haringey. The next letter is from Victoria Borwick, Conservative London-wide Assembly member. She says, "Police on the beat in Enfield will soon be getting a great new piece of kit, a body-worn camera. The Mayor's recent announcement of 20,000 cameras for the Metropolitan Police will herald one of the biggest changes in policing in recent history. Trials in Britain have shown that these cameras help reduce cost, save time, cut complaints and improve accountability. This technology helps to remove any grey areas. Troublemakers will no longer be able to make false accusations about the police. It also means that the police have more time on the beat. Instead of an officer writing a lengthy description of an incident, they can submit the footage as evidence that speaks for itself. It not only saves the officer's time, it saves the court's time as cases are more cut and dried. Don't worry, you can still approach a bobby and have a private conversation as the cameras are only turned on when an incident takes place. The next step is to get these cameras to our other frontline workers. A report, Risky Business, Protecting Frontline Workers from Attack While on Duty, showed that nurses, doctors, paramedics, rail staff, bus drivers and others are being attacked on a daily basis. Body-worn cameras would help protect the very people who are working to make our lives better.
Birds, bees, frogs and dragonflies will be dropping by in Edmonton Park on a regular basis this summer as hundreds of thousands of pounds are ploughed into a new pollution-busting wetlands site. After 2 decades of foul sewage and human waste clogging up the lake in Pimms Park, Thames Water and Enfield Council have decided to stop the stink through a combination of tackling shoddy plumbing and creating a £200,000 scheme whereby water flowing into the Pimms Park lake from a pipe in nearby Denton Road will be purified by the park's reeds and marshes. Due to an estimated £8,000 local misconnections, with wastewater pipes being wrongly connected to a surface water drain, raw sewage has been flowing into the lake, wreaking havoc with ecosystems, as well as making the park a thoroughly unpleasant place for visitors. The problem became so bad that Thames Water was forced to stop the flow of one of the lake's feeder pipes, that should have funnelled overflow rainwater into the lake, away from the park entirely. Thames Water then embarked on a large-scale crackdown on plumbing in the area, in the end fixing 300 misconnections. Once that was completed, the pipe was directed back into the lake, and Thames Water, working with the local authority, developed the idea of purging remaining pollutants from the water by passing it through the natural purifiers of reed beds and marshes. The wetlands take out any residual pollution that might be in the water. It just sort of polishes it, really, explained Ian Russell, the council's principal engineer in the Structures and Water Courses team. It's just helping to clean it a little bit more. Plants can use the nutrients in the water to grow. Bacteria that lives on the roots of the reeds break down the pollution as well. The project is a joint investment between the Council and Thames Water, and the Cabinet Member for Environment, Daniel Anderson, has defended the spending on the project at a time when so much else is being axed as a result of funding cuts. This is a capital project, he said. We're spending £2 million on the parks. That's capital funding, and these are things that you have to do to maintain the beauty of our parks. Stressing that the council was committed to maintaining parks, Mr Anderson added, "This park does require some investment, and it is in a poor part of the borough. It's very important that parks are not neglected, even in times of austerity, and we have to ensure sufficient funds. This is a project which will benefit wildlife, and that's important as well." Former chairwoman of the Friends of Pimms Park, Teresa Leffley, who has campaigned against the persistent pollution, welcomed the official launch of the Wetlands project last week. The Friends group has been campaigning for something to be done for 19 years, she said. This wetlands idea seems to have been successful in a lot of parks, so I hope it does work.
So do we. Police were still searching this week for a driver who fled after his car overturned following a collision in a busy Enfield road last Thursday. The silver Vauxhall Zafira is believed to have struck bollards and flipped over onto its roof before ramming a silver Peugeot in Windmill Hill. Nobody was injured in the smash close to Enfield Chase railway station. The incident caused major traffic disruption, with police diversions in operation until the car was removed. A nearby office worker who didn't want to be named said, "I heard loud bangs and looked out of the window in the immediate aftermath. It appears the vehicle had come round the corner and hit the bollards and then overturned, shunting into the back of another car. It's a miracle no one was more seriously hurt." A policeman said no arrests have been made and inquiries are continuing.
Show that more than 5,000 elderly people were taken to accident and emergency because of falls last year. Statistics revealed by the Enfield Over 50s Forum show that North Middlesex Hospital in Stirling Way, Edmonton, spent more than £10 million on admission to the A&E, with Barnet Hospital spending £2.6 million in 2014. A total of 5,135 people over 65 were taken to one of the two hospitals. This has prompted the forum to set up a Falls Prevention and Awareness Day this month. The event will take place at Edmonton Leisure Centre between 10:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. People can take their part in free taster sessions in yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi and Zumba to help improve balance and prevent future falls. Life President of the Enfield Over 50s Forum, Monty Meth, called on all surgeries to keep a record of all patients that have suffered a fall. He said falling is not an inevitable result of getting older. Falls happen for many reasons, and our forum wants to see that all surgeries in Enfield keep a register detailing every patient that has fallen and how their progress is being monitored.
Detectives are investigating damage caused to more than 10 gravestones. Police believe the incident in Lavender Hill Cemetery, Cruise Hill, Enfield, took place between Tuesday, May the 12th and Friday, May the 15th. It's believed that around 12 stones, believed to date from the 20th century, were damaged. Therese Di Monaco, who noticed the damaged stones in late May, called for the police to take action. The police and Enfield Council have now called on anyone who has information to come forward. They're also trying to trace any families that have been affected by the vandalism.
A festival celebrating the lives of two of Edmonton's most creative former residents kicked off at the weekend. Brother and sister Charles and Mary Lamb were London literary heavyweights when they lived in the parish of Edmonton in the 1830s. Mary Lamb suffered from psychiatric illnesses throughout her life and moved to a psychiatric home in the area in 1833. Her brother, who had been her main carer throughout her life, also moved to the area to remain close to her. The siblings never married and were close throughout their lives, even after Mary, in a period of mental breakdown, stabbed her mother to death in 1796. The Lambs were at the heart of the 19th century literary scene and counted William and Dorothy Wordsworth among their friends. Together, they published Tales from Shakespeare, a collection of stories from the Bard, retold for young people. Mary is seen as producing an early economic argument against the subjugation of women when she published the critically acclaimed essay on needlework. The pair are buried together in the graveyard of All Saints Church in Church Street, Edmonton, and for the second year in a row, the vicar of the church, Father Stuart Owen, has organised a free arts festival to celebrate their lives and remind the community of Edmonton's place on the artistic map. Every event in the festival is free to give people the chance to come along and try something they maybe wouldn't usually do, Father Owen told the Advertiser. The vicar explained that contrary to some people's assumptions about the area, Edmonton has been a key player in the country's cultural scene, with romantic poet John Keats also living in the area at one time. And just from a personal note, this is very apt, because my house at school was Lamb House.
For you. Hundreds of devoted young girl fans of mega boy band One Direction are set to scream the house down at Potter's Bar Willets Theatre this Friday, not for the actual group, but for a cover band of their heartthrobs. The old adage, accept no substitutes, will be lost on the excited youngsters as concerts by lookalike impersonators Only One Direction often attract the same hysterical frenzy from dedicated fans as the genuine article. The cover act may not be the real deal, but it doesn't stop Directioners, as the real band followers are called, going crazy at their shows and meet and greets. The members of Only One Direction are all professional performers in their own right, having appeared in West End stage shows and even X Factor. Formed 3 years ago, they have performed to more than 250,000 people with sell-out concerts in Britain, Ireland, Australia, the Arab Emirates and Malaysia. Their show captures the high-energy concerts of their famous counterparts and features songs from all 4 of One Direction's smash hit albums, including What Makes You Beautiful, Story of My Life, Best Song Ever, Midnight Memories, Steal My Girl, and many more. Despite One Direction star Zayn Malik's decision to quit the boy band earlier this year, the cover act have stuck with a 5-person lineup. Jamie Searles, 25, who has played him since 2012, said, "People remark on a passing resemblance between Zayn and I, but the truth is we're not trying to be a look-alike band. That would be a little token tribute." And he added, "It can get a little crazy in Dubai. We had to have security and had to be moved to avoid crushing crowds."
Some more theatre news here. Although it might feel as if the summer sun is yet to get into full swing, a group of thespians will be hoping the skies will stay clear as they embark on their annual festival of Shakespeare in the Park. Principal Theatre Company will be launching its season with a production of classic comedy Twelfth Night. The tale of cross-dressing and crossed wires will be performed under the summer sun at the old Ashmolean Rugby Ground in the Bourne, Southgate, from Wednesday. And Paul Gladwin, the company's artistic director, is urging residents to take the rare chance to combine fresh air and culture. Twelfth Night was recently voted Shakespeare's funniest comedy, he said, but our production is set in 1966, on the day that England won the World Cup. With 18 actors playing guitars and different instruments, we bring the story to life for all ages. The production will be directed by Christopher Geelan, and Paul says that the old Ashmolean grounds near the Priory Hospital is the perfect location for the tale of twins, separated by a shipwreck. The production runs until June the 20th at the Rugby Ground, before transferring to Forty Hall in Enfield from July the 9th to the 18th. The run will finish up at Corham's Fields in Guildford Street, Bloomsbury, from July the 23rd to August the 8th. And tickets can be booked by logging on to the box office at www.millfieldartscentre.co.uk or by calling 0208 807 6680. I'll just repeat that. 0208 807 6680.
Enfield Council has defended its ownership of assets, including 17 farms and 206 shops. The authority owns the third highest number of shops out of all 399 authorities in the UK and the most farms in London, according to figures by the Taxpayers Alliance. The council also owns 4 golf courses across the borough and is one of 9 authorities in the capital to own shopping centres, of which it has 2. It also owns 33 car parks and 3 pubs. Taxpayers Alliance Chief Executive Jonathan Isenby slammed the council spending. He said, "Councils should be councils, not property investment managers. Not only is there a risk to taxpayers if the investments go belly up, but it distracts from essential services." When councils are talking in apocalyptic terms about the financial challenges they face, it's only right that we interrogate all of these assets and sell those not crucial to council services back into private sector where they belong. Other unusual ownerships included Bristol City Council and Harlow District Council, which both own nightclubs, while Dumfries and Galloway Council owns a cheese factory.
We have reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. And so from the team of Audrey, Elizabeth, Roz, Katherin and Jason on the controls, it's bye. Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. Don't forget, you can call Diane de Jersey regarding any help you may require in connection with Enfield Talking Newspaper. The Enfield Talking Newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.